Good afternoon, Bruin fans, and welcome to episode 43 here of season 2 of Sports Talk with Rags. And today, here we are joined here by the head basketball coach of Varsity Boys Bruins basketball, Paul Hall. Paul, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. Just about getting ready for practice. We have Woodbridge coming up this Saturday in our Bruins Classic. So, but like I told you, it was always a good time to talk to you. So it took a few minutes out of the day to come speak with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for your time, and hey, let's start with that because you talk about former Bruins. I mean, you have former Bruin there, Courtney Kofer, that leads
Yeah,
Woodbridge's varsity boys program.
yeah. This is man, probably about the seventh to eighth year we've had the Bruins Classic, and Woodbridge has always been in it.
Right,
Because again, we try to get our local teams, like we're always in it. Nansemond, Deep Creek, Churchland, all the surrounding schools that are around us, and then we normally play people from out of the area. That's how it started, playing people from
right,
out of the area. And I had never played Courtney.
yeah,
Courtney, he came down. I think he played Green Run one year. He played Churchland one year. He played Grassfield one year. Had never played us. So I said, hey, we need to do it this year. So
right,
we both agreed on it, and we're both probably in a rebuilding stage.
yeah.
Um, we're off to a slow start this year, and I think they may be 5-4, 5-5, something like that. So both kind of got young programs this year.
Yeah, and maybe you guys. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity here with Miss Foster being athletic director, and I know that Courtney not only knows Miss Foster, but then also played basketball there with her brother.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So, but hey, also here with the Bruin Classic. I mean, I know that Coach Thomas has always had, the Saturday in December, like JV showcases there on Saturday. But there with the Bruin Classic, I saw that it was $15, and it's just a good way of not only seeing the teams in our area, but then also some out of town teams here within the state.
Yeah, definitely. Well, sometimes we switch it up. Sometimes we'll go first, and then sometimes he'll go first. What we do is we have two classes. One is a JV, one is a varsity. In December, it's normally the tip-off classic. Last year, we went first. It was the Bruins tip-off classic, but it was all varsity. He went
Oh,
second. It was the Bruins winter classic. It was all JV. This year, we went back to the original format of JV having theirs in December and us having ours in varsity. So in January. So it just depends on the matchups, the teams we can get, and when they're able to play. This year it just happened. We were able to get some good teams. Our final matchup will be Phoebus against Norview, two very exciting teams. Coach Rick always has Norview ready to roll, and Coach Daniels, Phoebus is pretty good this year. We also have Churchland and Grassfield matchup between Coach Holland and Coach Johnson from Grassfield. That's going to be a good matchup. We have Nansemond River in it this year. They're going to play Franklin. And then opening off, we have in the opening matchup, we have Norcom. I see Norcom, who's always good under Coach Gooseby, and they're going to take on Deep Creek.
okay.
School. My lights went out. Get my lights back on. And,
Well, you
and
know,
um, and we have a Great Bridge taking on Deep Run out of Richmond.
oh, okay, all right. And you bring up Nansen River. I mean, I know that there you were coaching the JV the JV squad before you came over to Western Branch, and there with the Suffolk Herald. Coach Young, was quoted by saying Western Branch hit a grand slam, scored a monster dunk, and threw the winning touchdown there on the hiring of Coach Hall there in the spring of 2014. So just explain your relationship here with Coach Young, because your son also played
Right, yeah, and
for
I tried to
him
get him to
as
come to
you
Western Branch.
coached
He
with
would
him.
not leave. My last 2 years, I wanted him to come to Western Branch. He would not leave. He wanted to stay at Nansemond River. So, but that just tells you how good care Ed took. That's how tell you how good Ed took care of him.
Right.
Um, Ed and I go back, way back. People, and we didn't even realize it until, we sat back and said, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, I do remember you from that. I used to coach at Windsor High School. I
Right.
was at Windsor, my first varsity coach job, 1997.
Okay.
And Ed recruited, Ed was at Mount Aloysius College in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
small school in Pennsylvania. And he actually came to recruit a couple of my players. A couple of them ended up playing for Ed.
Right.
And, I remember him from back when he was at Old Suffolk High School. And, he used to battle a mentor of mine that coached at Windsor High School, John Fuller.
Okay.
Sadly, Coach Fuller passed away, but he was an old mentor of mine, and he and Ed used to battle, going back and forth, back and forth. I think John Fuller was at Windsor and Ed was at Suffolk, and he used to have some classics at the old Suffolk Rec Center. He used to have some classics. And when I left Windsor, I spent a year at Sussex Central. I spent a year there as the assistant coach, but it was just too far. I could never get housing out there. It was too far to drive, so I ended up coming to Suffolk. And when I originally got to Suffolk, I was the girls' assistant coach. And then the girls' coach left. And here's the crazy part. I had actually accepted the job of being the girls' varsity coach.
Right.
And then Frankie Chapman, who's the coach at Nansman, he got an AP job. And so they brought Ed in to be the boys' coach. Well, I ended up meeting with Ed and we said, hey, you used to coach it? Well, yeah. And so we realized we knew each other. He said, well, listen. He said, I need a good assistant. Why don't you be my JV assistant? And, he said, he doubted that I would do it because he said, who would leave a varsity job to do a JV job? But, my heart was always in coaching boys. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So, and 12 years later, I had been a JV coach and I saw the Western Branch job had opened up and I knew that Western Branch always had talent. They always had talent, but they just couldn't seem to get over that hump sometime. I mean, Chris Furman did a great job with them, but they just seemed to not be able to get over the hump sometime. And, sometimes you just need a change. And I came in and, we were okay my first 2 years. I think we won like 8, maybe 10 games and 11 games. And then, the next year we just kind of took off. We guys bought into what we were selling. And from there on, we had made 4 appearances in the state in the past 5 or 6 years. So.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up your start when you came over to Western Branch, and there with Max Preps, was able to go back and get the records, and then as you talk about,
some of that's not accurate though. Some of that stuff is not accurate on Max.
No, you're good. It just talked about how laying the foundation, and then the third year, because then the fourth year. That's when, going out to Ocean Lakes to see you guys play against Tavion Robinson and Cox, and then going out to the Siegel Center. I know that South County, but I know for me, with being a Bruin alum, and I know with the team, I know with the coaching staff, everybody likes to win, but hey, for the Bruins basketball, to make it to the championship game, I know that we ran into a tough team there of South County. But hey, I mean, 25-3 and making it to the championship game there in 2018.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of close calls.
Right.
Yeah. I guess the thing that kind of gets us though is probably our best chance to win it was the COVID year that we actually didn't get a chance to play. We only played the City League and we went undefeated. That was probably our team because that team had lost to Centerville the week in that they shut it off. Okay. And we won against Centerville. We'd have been COVID champs. Yeah. And then we had everybody coming back from that team. Right. And we didn't play. We didn't play that next year. We only played Chesapeake schools and won the city championship. But that team probably would have had a chance to get back to the state finals. That's the frustrating thing about
it. Right. But it's let's see. I know with just coming off the heels of the Christmas break, this year you guys went to Maryland, played in a couple games. So just talk about not only taking the team out of town, but also out of state. To just look, see where the team is, and look at other states' competition.
Right. Well, we're trying to build that chemistry, trying to build a rapport. I mean, believe it or not, we have 15 people on our roster. We've yet to dress 15 people for a game or for practice. We got a kid out with a fractured foot. We got a kid out with a fractured pinky. Um, we had some kids that came from football that had some injuries. They weren't ready right away. And so, we've yet to have our full squad for any of our 7 games that we've played. So we've had a different lineup every game. We've been trying to find the right pieces, and we may have found that in Maryland. We lost the first game to Walt Whitman by 10. They eventually won our bracket. They eventually won that. The next game we kind of came together. We were up actually 30 against another team from Maryland, Linganore, who's pretty good. But we started to hit our stride. And even against Whitman, we started to hit our stride. But they were you could tell they were a little more seasoned than what we were. We still only have 3 seniors, and 2 of them play football. So, again, we're trying to get on the same page. The fact that we have practice all this week, and we only have a game Saturday, that helps. Right. And then next week, our only game is Friday. So that'll help because we're still trying to put the pieces in the right place because we have some kids that came from the football squad. Jamari Parker, the freshman who started at cornerback, he's with us. Jazari Priester, the big guy that was on the line. Terrence Mack, who's a middle linebacker. All those guys are coming into the fold. CJ Frazier, who just signed with Richmond, he's playing basketball. And so those guys have got to get back up to speed now with what we're doing. And so, we're 3-4. Our record could be a little deceiving, but we haven't lost the chumps. We've lost the Kings Fork, who's number 1 in the area. We lost the Patriot, who's probably 1 or 2 up in North Virginia, who was a Final Four 6A last year. And we lost the Whitman, who's the number 2 ranked team in Maryland. So, and of course, the first Currituck game, we only had 9 players, and we had a couple of kids out with the flu, and we just were not ready for that. Shouldn't even play that game. Right. But not to make excuses. So we have 4 losses, and then our 3 wins are, we beat Bayside about like 20. We beat Deep Creek, probably about 30 something, and we beat the team out of Maryland. Ended up beating them by 18 once we subbed and they subbed and all that. So in our wins, we look very good. And in our losses, it just shows that we don't have that cohesiveness that, my Western Branch teams are known for, but we're getting there. So hopefully we can hit our stride the next couple of weeks and reel off some wins, and then we'll see, where the cards, fall.
Yeah, and because there is no Southeastern District tournament anymore, so come the middle of February, it's who finishes in the top 8 and go right into regionals, right?
I think we take 6 out of 6A. I think it's 6 because that's how we got. Even though we had a better record than a few teams last year,
right?
The PowerPoints killed us because we lost a couple of games to private schools. And like I said, I told hopefully we tried not to schedule any private schools this year, and nothing against them, but they kill your PowerPoints, especially when you're 6A. And so we lost to like LCA, Life Christian. We lost to there's another private school we lost. We lost to a couple of them last year, and that kind of upset our PowerPoints. And that allowed some schools to get in over us, even though we had a better record. And even the Virginia Pilot called. It was like, Coach, why are you not in the playoffs? Points, man, points. So, we try to play 6A at the lowest 5A. And it hurts some of our rivalries. Like, we love playing Churchland, but, nothing against Churchland. They're 4A. So if we lose to them, it's not good for us. Or we used to, love playing Norcom. But if we lose to them, it's not good. It's great for them, but it's not good for us. So we try to play, that's why we play the Patriots, who's a 6A, the Woodbridge, that's a 6A. Thomas Dale's a 6. We got to go to Thomas Dale on MLK Day. We had to reschedule that game. So that's why anything outside of the district, we try to play a lot of 5 or 6s. And the problem is there's not a lot of 5 or 6s around here.
Right.
They normally match up pretty quickly. So then we got to go out of the area to get games. And, it's tough traveling with a young group going out of the area. because you got to get used to different referees and got to get used to different styles. And we play one way and are used to being refed one way, and
Right.
then you go to another part of the state and they ref the game a total different way. I know one game we played, we were in a double bonus by the end of the first quarter. I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
And we got to adjust to how the game is being called. So
Yeah.
that's on us.
Yeah, well, and recently I had Corey Bailey on, who was at Western Ranch Middle, now leading Jolliffe Middle. But he just talked about with being part of a feeder school in the Western Branch High School with basketball. Just talked about what you and Coach Thomas here is doing here with preaching family, reaching out to the middle schools, having middle schools come to the games. I think even the Jolliffe Western Branch, game might even be at the high school. So just talk about. He just talked about, and I know Coach Thomas and I grew up together, and with him coaching and him working at the school, he's been there a long time. So just talk about how important it is there with JV and varsity coaches to go down to the two middle schools that feed into Western Branch and reach out to the Western Branch middle schools.
Right. Well, the first thing is we have to bring those guys together because they're so used to being rivals that
Right.
it's hard when you bring them together for the first time. Like, look, we all Bruins now.
Right.
All that Jaguar and WB and West Branch Middle, y'all got to play together. So that's the hardest part. Sometimes is getting them to get out of that middle school mindset and understand now that they're on the same team. We normally have a future league, a spring league, which is affiliated with Boo Williams, and it's called the Future League. And that's when for the first time, we get our hands on them. We can bring them together, and we try to
Oh,
get the best of the best from both, and we put them together. And we can have a sixth grade team, a seventh grade. Have a sixth and seventh grade team, and then we have an eighth and ninth grade team. And normally we've had a lot of success with that. We do go down to the middle schools and talk to them. We have a middle school night. Matter of fact, this year it is against Hickory High School, which is January 24th is middle school night. That's when the middle school kids can come in with no charge. Normally, we'll meet with them before the game. Our coaching staff will meet with them, give them pizza and stuff, serve them food, and then have them come to the game, and they'll recognize them. We try to really make them a part of what we do. We always have an open invitation. They can come into our practice anytime they like. I know sometimes they're kind of busy, so they can't, but they have that open invitation if they would like to come to our practice. Coach Thomas even includes middle school games in his JV Classic. He always has
right.
middle school games in his JV Classic as well, so that they can just get to meet some of our guys and see what it's like on this side. But definitely, we've been blessed over the years of getting good talent from Western Branch and Jolliffe, because no matter what anyone say, you can be the best coach in the world. If you don't have talent, it's hard to win.
Right.
Hard to win.
And yeah, there when you guys were, even with the state final there in 2018, that was the start of three straight 20 plus win seasons there for Bruin basketball. And my brother graduated from Western Branch in '91, so his freshman year, Zoe was at Indian River. So people would come to Western Branch to watch, when Indian River played. So it's just great to see, Bruins Bruins basketball there at one of the top.
Right. Well, at one point from what is it? From about 2018 to about 2020, we had lost only 13 games in 4 years.
Right, right,
So we were like 60 something 13 at one point, and we didn't lose much.
right.
Now last year again, we were kind of rebuilding. We lost a lot from that senior class with Cam Edmonds, Bobby Johnson, Ty Harrell, and then you add to Ephraim Johnson, who transferred down to Alabama to finish out his career there because of COVID. You know,
Right.
he to get his full season, and he played down there and didn't come back. He's at University of Alabama,
Yeah.
Birmingham right now.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot. I mean, you're talking four, double-figure scores.
Right.
And then, the guys that we had coming in behind them, they just, because of COVID, they really didn't get to spend as much time in the gym.
Right.
And so normally the thing about our program is guys are ready to step out of their role when other guys graduate.
Right.
The team last year, guys were never really fully able to get out of that role where they could do it on a consistent basis. They do it sometimes, but they didn't do it all the time. Hence our 10-10 record. We were like a roller coaster. We were great some games, not so great the other games. This team, a lot of these guys played last year. They're a little more experienced. We still have, a couple of one freshman, a couple of sophomores, and a ton of juniors. Because like I said, we only have 3 seniors, a ton of juniors on this team. But many of the juniors didn't play a lot last year as sophomores on varsity. So again, we're still trying to, get over that hump. We're trying to get them to understand how to play, the style that we want to play. We brought in some of the old guys over the break. Kendall Bynum came back. DeMarcus Shepard came in. Bobby came in. Cam came in. Emmanuel Thomas, Coach Thomas Sonny came in. A lot of guys came in and just talked to them about culture, talked to them about, what it was like, winning consistently and what it's like fighting and practice and being, just locked in to being successful. Because a lot of these guys, they didn't even know those guys. They were too young when those guys were playing. And that's what we're just trying to do is reinvigorate the culture. Not that it's gone down, but it's not where it was 3-4 years ago, not where it was before COVID.
Right. And so you got Grassfield coming in on Saturday to be part of the Bruin Classic. That's a Group 6 school, not only a Southeastern district, but then right here in our region, got Oscar Smith with a district, and then a couple beach teams, and then it's just like football and baseball where like a couple other 6A schools are there in Richmond, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so definitely some tough competition.
You're 6A, here you have us, Smith, Grassfield, Lansdowne, Kellum, and then up in Richmond, you have your Manchester, your Thomas Dales, your Franklin County, which is a little further out, James River.
Right.
Yeah, those schools. Ocean Lakes as well. I think it's an odd. No, I think it's 7 though, and they only take 6. Well, it's either 9 or something. I know they only took 6 last year because we were left out. But we definitely plan on being in the thick of things this year. Like I said, we're trying to go. We're looking to go on a run these next few games. If we can just be a little more consistent, I think we've settled on our lineup now. We've settled on our top 8, and we'll be ready to go from there.
Yeah, and I saw Larry Rabamba there from the Pilot doing an article there on Kendall Bynum. I saw that he's able to play here at the next level here with COVID, from right here at Bryant Stratton.
Yeah. Kendall's a great kid. He got in a situation where he just wasn't having fun anymore. I would talk to him and I could tell. I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? And, just where he was, it just wasn't fun.
Right.
I went to see him recently at Bryan and Stratton. He was smiling, having fun on the court, laughing again. And like I said, he came to one of the practices and he said, yeah, I'm having fun again, coach. And that's what it's all about. I mean, winning can't be such of a necessity that it actually drains you. Like we tell our kids, just go have fun. Win, lose, or draw, have fun. You ever want to win,
right,
but more than likely have fun doing it. All right. And if we can get over that hump of that pressure, yes, you want to win. But at the same time, you want to come together as a family as well.
Right. Well, hey, Paul, and you pretty much, I mean, Coach Thomas, JV, Tracy out there still helping you.
Yeah, Tracy's out there, and I got Brandon Newsom. Brandon actually played for me at Nansen River, and I got Shane Barana. Shane,
Yeah.
who now just moved up as the director over the Sports Center at Virginia Beach, he actually played for me in my first year at Western Branch. So we got a good mixture of old and new. Some of the old guys, and then we try to bring in some of the younger guys to help us out as well.
Right.
And they're doing an outstanding job, fantastic job as well.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know that getting back into the routine there with work and everything, I have to look at my schedule here to come out to the gym there and support Bruins basketball.
Definitely, you got to come out to the Bruin Classic because we got good basketball, good food, and a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And let's see. So what Norcom probably with them kicking it off, what's that probably at 10 o'clock and
No,
every
that's
hour?
actually 12:30. Now, actually, first varsity game starts at 12:30. We
Oh,
didn't. We just added our JV against Churchland JV to the schedule at 11 o'clock. That's not on the flyer, but our JV will be playing Churchland's JV at 11 o'clock, and then right after that, the first varsity contest kicks off. That's Norcom against Deep Creek.
okay. All right. And then Woodbridge, Western Branch, that's like 5:30,
That's not
right?
until like 5:30, right? 5:30. See, we Courtney didn't want to play at 8 o'clock and get out of here. Then they'd be back at 2, 3 o'clock getting back home. So to always try to give him a middle of the evening game so they can get back home before it's too late.
Right. But yeah, and what when I saw on the flyer with it being $15, sounds like it's just an all day pass, right?
Right, all day pass. Yep, yep.
All right. Well, hey, basketball fans, especially Bruin fans, if you're free there on Saturday, come on out to 1968 Bruin Place there for different varsity programs here all day, and then just added is Western Branch Churchland JV there at 11. So, Coach Hall, thanks again for your time, and go Bruins.
All right, now I got to go to practice.
All right, man.
Thanks
Talk
for
to you.
having me.
Okay, sure thing. All right.
All right, have a good one.